Booyah! Booyah!
Hello.
Hello! Oh my goodness. Welcome. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe show on Revolutionary Blackout Network. So good to see all of you here on this beautiful Thursday evening. Sabs, what's
Hello,
going
guys.
on? Yes.
Nothing much. I'm excited to talk about this considering there's new information that has been revealed.
New information. Definitely. Just to let you guys know, the Sabby and JB show is every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to watch us every single time. Also, you can find Sabby on her channel. She's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So make sure to be there or be square. And then you can find her back here on RBN on Fridays at 6 p.m. Also, you can find me on RBN on Sundays at 1 p.m. and on my channel on Tuesdays at 2 as well. Thank you so much to everybody who for tuning in this evening. Thank you to the patrons on Patreon, as well as anybody who also donates to our GoFundMes. Also, if you guys would like to, you guys can go to revolutionaryblackout.substack.com. If you guys would like to get email notifications, I also have it pinned in the chat above as well. So also, thank you to everyone who has also donated to our fund for our graphics designer Erin. She does an amazing job. She did the thumbnail for today. So thank you so very much. If you guys would like to, you guys can donate at Venmo at Revolutionary Blackout, or you guys can go to Cash App $ Mutual Aid Forever. Or if you guys would like to donate through the GoFundMe, you guys can also do that as well. Thank you so very much to Erin for all her hard work. And let's get to the chat. Make it quick. All right. So first off, we have in the chat Anna Ringwald coming in saying a wise man has the power to reason away what a fool believes. What a fool believes, Doobie Brothers. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Tiberius Monk says, let's go. Absolutely. Serena Sawyer says, greetings again, comrades. All right. We have Wadi coming in saying, hey, everybody. Good to see you. Oh, well, let me see. Who else we got? We have Cassie saying, hey. All right. Whoever comes in and says, what's up, comrades? All right. We have Zebs coming in saying, happy birthday to you again, JB. Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, when is the show going to make the cover of Flavor magazine? Check it out. Check it out.
That would be funny.
Ooh, in the 90s kind of world, I'm glad I got my girl.
Love that show.
Yeah, that show was everything. All right. Eric T. Rez in the Jizat. Good to see you, Eric. All right. Oh, whoever, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We have Samuel coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you. Who else do we have that I didn't get to say hello to? We only got so much time, but I'm gonna say hello to everybody. Thank you so much, Serena. I eat paste. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. All right. Oh. Oh my goodness. I keep forgetting. Oh, don't love anymore.
Doom, doom, doom. You know that's that actually the song Regulators by Warren G.
Oh yeah.
He sampled that. He sampled that song by Michael McDonald.
Wow.
Doom, 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 doo, doo. Or sampled the beat. Do 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 do.
Nice.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
Oh yeah. All right. Good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you, Samuel. Thanks for Nikolai. Hello from Quebec. Bonjour. I almost sounded like Julia Child. Bonjour. Hi, Tiberius Monk. All right. Let me see. Dwayne, thank you so very much. Jessica, good to see you. I love that pink color on you, Sabby. And hi, JB and Sabby. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Nizar, good to see you. Howdy, first time early for this show. Yep. Thank you so very much, Chris. Oh, we got a super chat. Social emotional learning with Dr. Donnie says, happy B-Day. Thank you. Thanks for standing up for trans people. Oh, thank you for your solidarity. Appreciate it. Bryce, good to see you. All right. Lorenz, good to see you too. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay. All right. So we have to get started. Oh, and Roger, good to see you. Hey, hey, hey. All right.
Hey. Hey, 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 it's Fat Albert. Not you,
man.
Roger.
I just laugh now but I used to get picked on like crazy being called Fat Albert when I was younger.
Oh, JB.
Yeah, I was picked on a lot.
Shout out to Brian. Thank you for the super chat. Happy birthday, JB.
Oh man, thank you so much. Wow. So much love in the chat.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. JB breaks out the 90s dance moves.
Let's get to the story. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whoever said you're not fat, JB, you're an American. Same thing. Oh Lord, what in the heck? Look, let me get to this. Why in the world do y'all even watch me? Sometimes I wonder. Jeez Louise. Okay, so there's some new evidence that basically kind of, it sheds a more kinder light on Jonathan Majors. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So it says the plot thickens. Look, somebody put a roux in that plot and they made it thicker. I'm telling you. Let's get into it. Cause I'm just like, what in the what? When I saw this, I had to share this with Sab. I'm like, Sabs, we got to talk about this. She was like,
Yes.
All right. So this is out of the Insider magazine. Let me go here. It says lawyer for Marvel's Jonathan Majors blames NYPD racism for his domestic violence arrest.
Should we tell people, because everyone may not know who he is and what happened?
Okay. All right. So just to bring everyone up to speed, Jonathan Majors has been accused of physical assault against his now ex-girlfriend. And his ex-girlfriend, she has there were screenshots of her text messages basically saying that she was sorry, that she's going to tell everybody that was her fault, blah blah blah. So it rang the hallmark of a victim blaming themselves, right?
And Jonathan Majors, I was going to let people know Jonathan Majors is an actor. So he was in most recently I saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy, the third one. I just saw him in that, but he's also
I had no idea he was in it. Thanks, Sabs.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wait a minute. No. Wait, no. Ant-Man. Sorry. Not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ant-Man, the Quantumania.
Sorry. Okay, the wrong movie. He was in Ant-Man. The most recent one that just came out, and then he was also in Loki, the show on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. So and Creed. He's been in a couple of movies. He's also in a Western movie on Netflix too. That was really good.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who he is.
Yeah. So Jonathan Majors is a really big up and coming actor, right? And so this happened a few months ago, and he had endorsements from the United States Army, which is I look at him like with a side eye with that one, but They dropped him. Um, also, management company dropped him. And Disney really has been kind of just chilling, just waiting to see what everything comes out as. So for him, this is been just a really big trial for him. And a lot of people really just threw him to the wayside, said, "Oh my God, he abused and assaulted a woman. He's canceled." But at the same time, it's like, well, you're not, innocent until proven guilty. Let's wait until all the information came out. And so I personally was like, she sounds like the typical victim that would take, blame for something, even though it's not her fault. But at the same
Right.
time, I'm like, you know what? Let me just hang on for just a little bit. And the thing is that my hope is if he was falsely accused, I'm happy. Why am I happy? Because number one, a woman was not hurt by him. And number two, he didn't hurt anybody. That's how I feel.
Right. He's one of the more recent Marvel actors that's been accused of abuse, by the way. This is becoming a trend. Also, the guy, I forget the actor's name, but the actor that played, you know his name, JB, the actor that played in the most recent, Jesus, the most recent Thor, the one,
Um,
Naylor, what's his name? Hold on.
Namor.
Namor. Namor.
Oh, you're talking about Black Panther. Oh, you're talking about
Black Panther, sorry. Got my movies all mixed up.
He was in
Yeah,
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
right. He played Namor. He now it has been recently accused of sexual assault, actually.
Yeah, which
So,
is
and then
horrible.
there's also well, this one's DC, but of course Ezra, we know about him kidnapping women and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
there seems to be a running theme of this recently.
yeah, yeah. So unfortunately, this is what happened. But this story is, getting the headlines now, and it's making Jonathan Majors look more in a more brighter light. Um, I mean, first of all, Jonathan Majors, somebody needs to get your ass an iron because, bruh, I'm sorry, but he
Well,
needs to iron.
maybe it was wrinkled on the plane or something. You know how sometimes like no, JB,
No,
okay,
he,
no.
he needs some Niagara. He needs a can of Niagara spray starch and a heavy iron for that thing. Number one.
He kind of looks like Wesley Snipes, circa Blade, New Jack City days in that picture. Like for a second, he kind of resembles old school Wesley Snipes if you're not really paying attention. Like the
Yeah, I guess so.
sunglasses, the haircut.
And by the way, yes, the woman he's holding hands with is Megan Good.
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer married to the pastor.
I didn't know that, by the way, until you told me that he was dating her. I was like, I thought she was married, but apparently no, she's divorced. Apparently a couple years ago got divorced.
Baby, I'm telling you, stuff just gets truth is
Mm-hmm.
stranger than fiction. I looked at Megan Good. I was like, "Are you sure you want to be with that dude?" Anywho, let me get to the story. All right, so wait, what was that? Amen to that, JB. let's go. All right, so let's go. It says Jonathan Majors appeared with his new girlfriend Megan Good Tuesday at a Manhattan courtroom, where a judge set an August 3rd trial date for the domestic violence arrest that has grounded his skyrocketing movie career for the past 3 months. The Marvel star, wore a rumpled brown linen suit over a white dress shirt and did not speak during or after the 5-minute hearing except to say good morning to the judge. His lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, told Insider that the star had hoped the misdemeanor assault charges would be dropped by Manhattan prosecutors, but she said that Majors was still eager to prove his innocence to a jury. Majors is still known to movie audiences as the Marvel superhero Kang the Conqueror, and also stars in a boxing prodigy in Creed 3, which was released in theaters early March in his latest movie role. It is just 3 weeks later that Majors was arrested on suspicion of hitting his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari, in a fight on a Chinatown street corner. As Mr. Bari claims that Mr. Majors assaulted her in a car in Chinatown around 12 a.m. on March 25th, 2023. And during this incident, Mr. Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear. That's what Chaudhry wrote in a letter to Manhattan Criminal Court. So, quote, we have proof that this is a complete lie. That's what Chaudhry told the judge, detailing a trove of defense eyewitness interviews, phone records, credit card statements, and hours of surveillance and police body camera video. Chaudhry alleged that in the letter that this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after that midnight fight when Jabari took the fall while alone in Major's penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills.
Right. I just want to cut in for just a second here. There were pictures and video footage of her going out partying with friends after she said that she was beaten up. Just FYI for people, like there were pictures and everything of all that.
Yeah. Okay, so it says the evidence that Chaudhry shared with Insider did not show how Jabari was injured or the entirety of the fight between Jabari and Morris. That's at the center of the misdemeanor charges. It did, however, appear to support that the lawyer's contention that Jabari's ear and finger were injured in the hours after the fight. So it says Chaudhry continued in the letter that Jabari had said, "I didn't know" 19 times when asked by arriving medics and cops how she was injured, citing police body-worn camera footage taken in the penthouse and turned over to the defense by prosecutors. The letter alleges that the NYPD footage showed that the lead officer coaching Miss Jabari to accuse Majors of assault. It said in the letter that the arrest was racist and showed off the officers questioning among themselves how Majors, who they didn't recognize as famous actor, could afford to live in a luxe penthouse. Chaudhry told the Insider that all 6 of the responding officers were white. Even though Ms. Jabari admitted to drinking to the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, had no idea how she woke up in the closet with a cut on her head and injured finger, the police jumped to the conclusion that Mr. Majors, the young, tall, strong, rich black man, I don't know why I put that in there, must have done this to Ms. Jabari, Chaudhry letter alleged, citing the NYPD footage.
Yep.
As prosecutors charged Majors with 6 counts of assaulting and 3 counts of harassing. So let's go to this. The driver is prepared to testify. Chaudhry told the Insider that the man who drove Majors and Jabari to and from a Brooklyn bar that night was not directly employed by Majors and worked instead for Black Lane, an upscale private black car company. She wrote in the April 8th letter that the man, whose name she asked not to be published, was prepared to testify that Majors never raised his voice or a hand against Jabari as they argued inside his car or after he pulled the car over and the dispute spilled out into the busy street corner. The driver of the car saw and heard everything. That's what the letter said. Street surveillance video reviewed by Insider appears to substantiate and at least some of the driver's account and shows Majors repeatedly trying to flee from Jabari as she pulls his coat. Chaudhry says, and he is, a big guy, and she's pulling him so hard that she pulls his body into the car. And you see the coat rip, and he does finally get out. A small group of women who witnessed the fight recognize the star. Only in New York, right? One of the women jumps on him, hugs him, and asks him for a selfie. And he's so nice, they take a selfie. At one point in the footage reviewed by Insider, Jabari used both hands to briskly fiddle with her hair. She ties her hair into a knot. If your finger is broken and you went to tie your hair in a knot, it would hurt. She gathered her hair behind her ear. If your ear was cut and your finger was broken, you went to do that, you would be like, oh, what happened? She added, but she's totally fine. Whew. Anything you want to add, Sabs, before I get to the next point?
I mean, it's very revealing to me how quickly people were to say that he was guilty before we had all the information, you know. And when you look at another actor, like when you look at Ezra, all of that information was present and people rarely even talk about it.
Yeah, like Ezra Miller is white, you know? And it's like Ezra Miller did all that stuff and nobody said a damn thing. But the
Yep.
moment a black man gets accused of something, boy, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
His ex-girlfriend white?
Who? Ezra Miller?
No, Jonathan.
Yeah, his ex, the woman in question.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how quickly the police were to believe her story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, what if that was Megan Good making those accusations?
Right.
Just saying. All right, let's get to the next point. There's a bartender who met Jabari is prepared to testify too. Chaudhry told Insider that Majors and an uninjured Jabari parted ways after the fight to embark on two separate and very different evenings. Majors spent the rest of his night at an Upper East Side hotel. The lawyer said phone records show that he sent Jabari a breakup text before turning off his phone. Jabari, meanwhile, befriended three of the passerbys who witnessed the fight, the lawyer said. The one woman and two men headed to Lucy's, a nearby nightclub, Chaudhry said in the letter. Prosecutors have the contact information for one of these witnesses, but have not shared it with the defense. The lawyer alleged in the April 8th letter that video from Lucy showed Jabari dancing and drinking with her new acquaintances and charging their drinks, including rounds of shots and an $800 bottle of champagne, to Major's credit card. Insider has reviewed timestamp video from inside the Lucy's nightclub obtained by Chaudhry. Throughout 2 hours of footage from multiple cameras, Jabari shows no signs of having an injury to her right hand. Instead, she can be seen using her right hand to shuffle through her wallet for the credit card, handle her cell phone, hold a menu, clink champagne glasses with her friends, write and hand a note to the DJ, giving what appears to be a fist bump in the air into the air on her dance floor, and finally sign a check. At one point in the video, Jabari uses her right hand to push her hair behind her right ear, which shows no sign of laceration. Police would see much later that morning when they arrived at the penthouse. Chaudhry told Insider that the bartender remembered Jabari's British accent and would testify that Jabari was having a great time and that he recalled no bleeding ear or bruised finger. Her finger is not broken and her ear is not lacerated after her fight with Majors, that the defense lawyer added. This is the breakup text. Shortly after 3 a.m., club surveillance footage shows Jabari standing near the hostess stand. Chaudhry said that when she saw Major's breakup text on her phone, the lawyer alleged that Jabari soon left the club and grabbed a taxi with Major's card. Surveillance footage shows her arriving at Major's address at 3:23 a.m. As she rode up to Major's triplex penthouse on the 17th and 18th and 19th floor of a luxury Lower Manhattan apartment building, the elevator surveillance camera recorded a clear image of her right hand, to which there continues to be no apparent injury, Chaudhry said in the April 8th letter. Jabari's phone went silent at 7:45 a.m. She had called Majors 32 times since they parted ways at midnight and had sent him a series of angry, jealous text messages accusing him of infidelity and begging him to call her. Hours later, Majors, still in an Upper East Side hotel room, began scrolling through Jabari's messages of calls and texts where he saw chilled him to the bone. Chaudhry told Insider, and he came rushing home. So this is talking about how she threatened suicide, and this is what chilled him to the bone and got him to meet her. Says the handyman also is prepared to testify. Says Majors let himself into his penthouse. Upstairs, a bedroom door was locked from the inside. He called the resident handyman to force the door open. The lawyer wrote in the letter. Inside, Majors and the handyman found Jabari half naked and passed out on the floor of a walk-in closet. Chaudhry wrote that the evidence would show that her right ear was bloody and that her knuckles of her right middle finger were swollen and bright purple with vomit on the bed and a bottle of sleeping pills nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she said she didn't know 19 times what they were asking her. Jabari said had no idea why her finger was bruised and her ear was bloody. Chaudhry said in the letter, instead of telling first responders, I don't know, 19 times. She also asks what happened to my finger to one of the cops when she was alone with him. Chaudhry told Insider, saying that the police body camera footage showed Jabari looking down at her hand as if discovering the injury for the first time.
I mean, this is why I say it's important to wait till you have all the information. All the information. But people, some people had already canceled Jonathan Majors. Like it's already impacted his career. Like he already lost like some sponsorships because of this. And
Mm-hmm.
again, he was not proven guilty, but this had already happened. They had already pulled like sponsorships away from him. And this is why you really got to be careful. And so what's really sad about this is like what she did, like that actually makes it more difficult for real victims of domestic violence.
Yeah, it's sad. It continues as Chaudhry said in the letter that Jabari also told the officers that she started a fight in the car because she saw a text from another girl, wanted to see his phone, and tried to grab his phone. But then the cops kept asking her if he hit her, punched her. At one point, the body cam footage, the cop who would end up swearing out the original assault complaint can be seen on the video touching his own throat several times while questioning what Majors did as if coaching her. But the police videos do not show any visible injury to Jabari's neck. A subsequent amended complaint will remove the first complaint's allegation that Major had put his hand on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain.
So this is something I want to add too, because people are already, well, I'll let you finish, JB, and then I'll tell people about what's happening with Making Good.
Sure. I'm just going to finish this last part. Since Chaudhry said, I suspect the medical records also show no injury to the neck. She told Insider that Major's medical expert was ready to testify that Jabari's cut ear and swollen finger were consistent with her having fallen while alone in the penthouse. Go ahead, Sabs.
I want people to understand what would happen if Jonathan Majors was not famous, if he was not a celebrity and this happened.
That's a good question.
And if he didn't have the money and the resources to fight back against this accusation. If Jonathan Majors was just an average dude who worked at like Dunkin' Donuts and this happened, he would be in jail right now. Not necessarily because he's guilty, but because he doesn't have the means and the resources to pay for the lawyers to get out and to get out on bail.
Yeah. And then a plea deal would come and he would have to take the plea deal in order just to not face so much time.
Right. And just because someone takes a plea deal, again, doesn't mean that they're necessarily guilty. A lot of times people accept the plea deal because they don't want to spend time in jail. Mm-hmm. So think about this. Like, yeah, he's a black man, and obviously he's been treated differently than someone like Ezra Miller has been treated, and someone like what's the guy's name? Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson also has had accusations of domestic abuse.
Dana White was caught in 4K.
Exactly. Dana White, same thing. So here's the problem. Now just take it a step further and imagine that he was not a celebrity. He didn't have these resources to fight back against something like this. His life would have been over.
Over.
And now you're like, you're a part of the system and you're in the system. And once you're in the system, you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just think
Yeah.
about that.
And the court of public opinion, I don't mean to sound divisive, but the court of public opinion will put a white woman above anybody else.
Right.
It's just how it is,
Right.
you know? And I was thinking about this. I was just like, you have to be very careful. If you're a woman and you're white, you have to be very careful about these things because you literally can ruin somebody's life. Remember the gentleman, I think I forgot his name, but he was bird watching and the woman called the police on him, black man. He could
Yeah,
have been killed.
Yeah, that was the Hillary Clinton supporter, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing
Like
is
that
that,
could have been the end of his life.
yeah, because the moment, even if it's a false accusation, the moment a white woman cries, those tears are dangerous to people that look men, especially men that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
And if those tears are not legitimate, or if those tears come out of frustration because we don't do what they want, even though we haven't done anything wrong to them, we can end up dead.
Yep.
And people be like, well, how do you have proof of this? Well, you know, there was a young man, by the name of Emmett Till that would like a word.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be careful about these things, you know.
But I
But
think she knew what she was doing. I really do think she knew what she was doing. But what I was gonna say is that now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but now Megan Good is actually receiving a lot of criticism from people because she is dating Jonathan Majors. And to that point, again, in the eye of public opinion, they have already decided that Jonathan Majors is guilty. Now we have new information that shows otherwise. So
yeah.
she's taken heat, upon that as well. And it's a good thing that she went to court with him because this is something. Let me tell you something about the eye of public opinion. If a man is accused of abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, whatever, towards another woman, and he is in a relationship, if his significant other does not appear in the courtroom with him, that actually adds to the negativity that the public is going to have about him in reference to their opinion of him. So it was very important that Megan Good was there. And I'm pretty sure his lawyers probably told them that, yes, you probably should be there. You need to be there with him. You have to, and I'm sure Megan Good, believed him from the jump anyway, or she wouldn't be dating him, right? But for her to be there, that shows that she's standing by him and that she believes him. Had she not been there, then again, that makes him look more, suspicious. So, but here's the thing. She should not be attacked for dating him when he has not been proven to be guilty.
Yeah. All right. Let's finish this up. Says Major's attorneys said his arrest could make black men afraid to call 911. I'm sorry. Hang on. Before I read this, we've been afraid to call 911 for God knows how long. Where has this attorney been, Sabby?
Right.
Like, we don't like to call 911, and we will refrain from doing it. I mean, it's been a running joke that calling the police does nothing for us.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, I'm sorry. It didn't happen because of this case. Didn't happen because of Jonathan Major's experience.
No.
That's been an issue for a long time. So let's not pretend this is new.
Yeah, of course. Like, what? What is this lawyer trying to say? All right, so it says NYPD body camera footage captured Majors telling the cops who had arrived in his penthouse that he had not struck or injured Jabari, that she instead had gouged his own chin and arm with her fingernails as they fought in the street the night before, ripping his $1,000 coat, Chaudhry had said. They did not investigate, pursue, or care even after he showed them the damage to his face, arm, and coat. Chaudhry wrote in a letter to the judge. Why did officers instead believe Jabari, who at first could not even remember what happened? And Chaudhry alleges racism. It says Chaudhry said the footage showed the officers walking around and looking out the windows at the view from 17th, 18th, and 19th floors while making impressed faces and mumbling to each other. Because the cameras are worn on the officer's chest, the video shows where they go, what they're looking at, and how long they look at it. There was some commentary by all the officers about how this is a 3-level penthouse, clearly showing amazement at the unique size of the place. Major saved her life by calling 911, and they falsely charged him with a crime. Says the court documents wrote in the court documents that officials had refused to prosecute Jabari on suspicion of assaulting Majors or in connection to the Rolex watches and diamond jewelry Jabari accused of taking from the apartment. Or meanwhile, they refused to prosecute her for allegedly assaulting him or for Rolex watches and diamond jewelry she alleged in the court documents that Jabari took from the apartment. It is heartbreaking that in 2023, a black man should still be afraid to dial 911, even to save a life. Says the sad truth is that story, if you're a black man and there is a white woman who needs medical help, you should think twice about calling 911 because chances are you will be blamed and arrested. And everyone, despite proof of the black man's innocence, will assume he did it. And no one, despite proof of the white woman's crimes, will prosecute her.
But this isn't new. We've known this for quite some time. And I'm curious. I'm wondering if like Jonathan Majors probably assumed that because he is a celebrity, he probably thought no harm, no foul because everyone knows, or he probably assumed like people know who I am. But what people have to understand is that Jonathan Majors' career just took off pretty recently.
Just took off.
And this is not to say he hasn't been acting, before, but I mean, he just became like well known for the most part. And so the police officers that showed up, they probably didn't even know who he was.
Most likely not. I mean, if they didn't see Creed, if they didn't see any of the Marvel cinematic movies, it's kind of hard to know who he is,
Right. So. Like he exists like in that space. Like a lot of people, those of us that love Marvel, like of course we knew who he was. We saw Creed, we know who he was. But I mean, like not everybody knows who he is. It's not like he's Will Smith.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. And then and even then, there are some famous people that have, that have confessed to being pulled over by police. And then police even admit, that if I didn't know who you were, well, not admit, but police, they knew that if police didn't know who they were, they would have been taken in or they may have been dead.
That happened to Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talked about it on air, actually, on ESPN. That happened to him one time. He was pulled over. It was 2 cops. He was pulled over, and the first police officer already had his hand on his gun when he came up to the car. And so Stephen A. Smith asked him, like, why was he pulled? When the other officer came up and he said, whoa, don't you know who that is? So the first officer that approached the car did not know who Stephen A. Smith was, but the second officer did. Had it not been for that second officer, we might be hearing a different story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the latest on what's going on with Jonathan Majors. I won't like to play a clip, but it has a lot of clips from like the Marvel movies and cinematic universe, and I don't want us to get, having a copyright claim on there. So, but this gentleman he has, some commentary on it. And the thing is that we got to remember that the court of public opinion, they will judge before all of the evidence is there.
Right. And the other thing too, I noticed the same thing because when I looked up clips for this story, almost everybody seemed to have like Marvel clips as they're discussing it. I'm like, I can't show that on here. I don't know how they're showing it, to be honest. But I think that I don't know, man. Like these are just scary times. And I know some people are going to bring up the example of OJ Simpson. Well, what about OJ? Like when Nicole called the police and she had pictures and had bruises. OJ Simpson was friends with the police officers at the police department that she called.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. OJ Simpson those were his friends. He was buddy with those guys.
Wow.
So,
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Yeah, like no, for real. Like it just.
Yeah, I remember that from the show.
Oh, then later on, he found out he was right.
Uh-huh. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah. Eric says OJ was an A-list star. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who OJ was until the Bronco chase.
I knew who he was because of my dad. Like, yeah, my dad's we're really into sports, so I knew who he was, and I saw him in the movies with what is it? Shoot, the Naked Gun movies. He was in those.
Oh yeah, the Naked Gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go. Let's go to the chat really quick.
You got some more super chats, JB.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let's get to the super chat. Super duper.
No, he wasn't friends with Mark Furman. I'm not talking about him. But OJ, when I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about earlier on when Nicole Simpson was calling the police when he beat her up and she filed police reports. What the documentary revealed is that OJ was friends with the police officers. Like they used to golf together and everything. So when they would come and approach the house to talk to OJ, they'd just be like, hey, everything all right? He was like, yeah, everything's fine. They didn't take it seriously, even though she had bruises on her.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think they're like, oh, it's just a regular thing that happens in my house too. So it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, over 40% of police officers have confessed to domestically beating their wives, spouses, partners.
Yep.
Those are the ones that confessed.
Mm-hmm. That includes the former police chief of Boston too, by the way.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He used to sleep. Like this was all revealed that he used to sleep with like a gun under his pillow and stuff like that. He was abusive towards his wife too.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow. Good to see you, Indy. Mm-hmm. Did we already read this?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you go to StreamYard and you click on starred, you'll see all the super chats starred.
Yeah. I got it, but it's just I didn't see this one yet. Say thanks you so much for the super chat. Brett Hudgens says, "Oh, what do you know? It's our birthday again. Here's some birthday fun money."
Oh, JB.
Thank you so much. I'll make sure to turn it into a bunch of ones and make it rain. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop. I gotta behave myself when Sabby's around. She's my dean of discipline. All right, Frank Johnson, thank you so much. Frank says, and remember how a guy that claimed to know Majors from the theater scene claimed that Majors was known for his abuse in that scene. He's quiet now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Meteor Dreams, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, Sabby, will you be covering the affirmative action?
Yes, tomorrow. I'll be covering that tomorrow. I have a lot to say about that, as you can imagine.
I can't wait. Oh my God. I'm gonna set an alarm for that one. Because I know you are going to put these people on blast. It's gonna be so Oh, hey, just to everybody who's watching, you ever know that one friend that you're like, man, once they hear about this, I cannot wait because they are gonna fuck some people up. I cannot wait for Sabby to get on this. That's what shivers down my spine. It's gonna be good. All right, thank you so much, Tiberius Monk. Says this is America, red, white, and blatantly racist. Hard to be black in the country we built, in a country that doesn't love us back.
And you know what, too? Even when you're talking about the police force, the thing is, black police officers, not all of them, but black police officers do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. You know what? Have you ever seen, as Flavor Flav said, 911 is a joke. Yeah. Yep. Have you ever seen the show, oh my God. It was on, I forgot the name of the show. It's with William H. Macy. Let me see.
Oh, are you talking about oh shoot. The show on Netflix? I watched the whole thing. Why can't I remember the name of it now all of a sudden?
I'm gonna get it. Shameless.
Shameless. Yeah. I saw all of that.
Okay. So you remember that one where Carl was joining the police force and you had even a black police officer and she was saying some racist stuff. She was being very prejudiced towards black people herself.
Yep.
That's truth. That is truth. That's what happens.
That was also revealed in Boys in the Hood too.
Yeah. Because like you say, black cops are cops first and black second.
That's right. Blue first, black second. Got to protect, the union there, the police union. Mm-hmm. It's like a fraternity. You either get along with the club or they'll try to ruin you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's go to some of the chat here really quick so that we can make sure everything is everything. Wait, what's this? Oh no. Let's go. I'm gonna check I'm sorry, what?
This is actually a really good question. How will HBCU be affected by the Supreme Court decision?
That is a good question.
We'll have to see, Wayne Smith. I don't know. I mean, now, granted, there are white students at HBCUs also, just FYI for people who are not aware. But that will be interesting because when it comes to HBCUs, white students that are admitted to a HBCU, they're the minority at that institution. So there have been times where white students have received like a full scholarship to an HBCU. So that's interesting. Listen, I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow, okay? Because I got a lot to say about this.
Yeah. Just looking at the chat on Rumble, we only have one person that says anything. One Chevrolet JB says the glove didn't fit. Yep. The glove doesn't fit. You must have quit. Gene Whitworth is on Raffin saying, "What's up? Thank you so very much." This is interesting. MTJ says, "Let's be real. It's Hollywood. Megan Good is a trick for his image. He's innocent, but this is the game that goes on. Sab and I know, image is everything from a white female to a black one."
That's a good point too. I mean, so let's question that, guys. Like, do you find it to be a little bit odd for him to jump into a relationship that quickly while this is happening? Think about it. Let's think about it for a second. You do have these charges against you.
Boy.
I don't know. Oh no.
I gotta walk off of this one, Stabs. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, it's just I think if you're in that situation, I don't think that would be on your mind. I don't think you would be thinking about, hey, who can I start dating right now? I don't think you would be thinking about dating someone else, starting a relationship with someone else at that point in time.
Yeah. Mm.
This is just something to think about. Just,
I don't.
I mean, it's just weird. It is kind of weird. I thought the same thing too. I'm like, in a relationship again? That was kind of fast.
That quick? I don't know, bruh. Hey, that's looking kind of sus.
And maybe he, may have already, had like an attraction like towards Megan and everything. And that's
Oh,
fine, but
a lot of dudes do. I'm gay and I'm like, damn, she bad. Anyway,
it's
go ahead.
timing. There's a such thing called timing. I don't know.
I mean, man, you made me wish this was some liquor.
Eric said PR purposes, dating for PR purposes.
Shit, I can't even.
And it could be that they both, do like each other, but still the timing is just a little weird.
That's also true. Price, Megan, fine. We can all agree there. Shit. Look, just because I'm gay don't mean I ain't got eyes. I got eyes now.
Oh man.
Oh man.
No,
but,
man.
yeah.
Well, let's see.
Man.
We shall see.
Yeah, Co-Commander. Yeah. Megan Good and Jonathan Majors are dating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's homegirl from Roll Bounce, the love interest.
Megan Good's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
A lot of movies, but
first movie I ever seen her in was in Friday. She was a little girl.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Right in front of the ice cream man Worm.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so we got to get going because Sab's got to get going. Let them know who you're having on again.
Yeah, so tonight, in about an hour, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Dr. Sandy Darity and Kirsten Mullen are going to be on. So I'm going to interview them. Both of them it's a wealth of knowledge. You're going to learn a lot, particularly about reparations. You guys, you probably, if you watched me before, like you heard me mention, like Dr. Sandy Darity did the research. So now you're going to get a chance to actually hear from him. And I think that's important for people to hear.
That's gonna be really good. I can't wait. I'm gonna be eating food and watching you. So all right. So just to everybody, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you guys have not, you guys can go to our Substack for email notifications. Go to revolutionaryblackout.substack.com if you guys would get the email notifications. Also, thank you so much to everyone who's donated to our funding for our graphics designer, Erin. She does amazing work. She did the graphics design for this stream. You guys can go to Venmo at Revolutionary Blackout or Cash App $mutual aid forever. You guys can donate for that as well. Thank you so much to the patrons on Patreon, as well as anybody who donates to our GoFundMe. And by the way, Sabby, you also have a GoFundMe for your chapter for Boston as well, right?
Yeah, I don't have it on me right now. I am sorry. Let me pull.
Yeah, I just thought about it. I was like,
I'll pull it up. It's on my Twitter.
Okay. So if you guys would like to donate to Sabby's chapter, where they're getting stuff ready for a mutual aid event for her chapter, as well as I think CJ has something going on with him for him personally for his housing. Remember that. And then also Rome is also raising money for the library. So you guys can do that. If for Rome, all you guys got to do is look up Tour for the Poor. You guys can look up Tour for the Poor on PayPal and Cash App. So
this is the GoFundMe for Boston for the RBN Boston chapter. The first event is going to be a community mutual aid barbecue. So far, we've raised $753. The goal is $2,000. And actually, we may not even need that much. Oh, I just missed a donation. Okay, sorry. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm excited about that. It says, please help us continue mutual aid efforts for the greater Boston community. The goal is to host community events, provide food, clothing, and teaching sessions. So one of the other things that we're doing with the Boston chapter is that we're going to be teaching different sessions. Like there's one about like how to grow your own food, STEM. There's one person that's a part of like the Boston chapter that already does this, already teaches volunteers to teach STEM learning to people. So she had already been doing mutual aid. And she said because of watching RBN, she didn't realize that that's what she was doing, but she learned that from us. So there's a lot of different things going on there. Robin actually just made the flyer for me for the barbecue. So I just got that. So I'm super excited. But yeah, we're up and going. And that barbecue is July 29th. And that's going to be at First Church in JP in Boston. So I continue to update people about that on my show as well. So I'm excited.
All right, cool. And also, just if anybody's interested, I'm also starting the Orlando chapter of the RBN. So if you guys would like to, I'll be taking forms from people for contact information. So if you guys would like to, I also will be putting that in the chat as well, the link to that. So if you guys can fill that out. My day to have it complete is tomorrow so that I can get things started in July so that we can have this. So make sure if you're going to fill it out tonight and then, send it and have it ready for me to get for tomorrow. So thank you so very much. Thank you so much to the patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much to everybody who has been donating. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it very much. And yeah. See you later, Sabs.
See you later. Happy birthday, JB.
Yeah. Rock music.
Party like a rock star.
Party like a rock star.